Have you ever wondered why everyday objects look the way they do? Some inventions were accidents, others started as tools for kings, soldiers, or even court judges. What seems normal today often has a history full of surprises, mistakes, and clever solutions. From high heels to tea bags, from slinkies to sunglasses, the objects around you have stories you never learned in school. Stick around because you're about to discover the hidden secrets behind the things you use every single day. Number 1. Umbrellas were originally symbols of royalty. Umbrellas may seem like simple tools for rain today, but they began as powerful symbols of rank. In ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, Persia, and China, umbrellas were used mainly to block the sun. Only rulers, nobles, and high officials were allowed to use them. In paintings and carvings from these cultures, important people are shown with servants holding parasols over them. That shade was a sign of honor and respect. It marked the person as someone above ordinary life. In ancient Egypt, the parasol appeared in scenes with pharaohs. In Mesopotamia and Persia, stone carvings show attendants holding umbrellas above kings during processions and ceremonies. In China, the parasol was also linked to official rank. Some umbrellas even had precious materials to show status. The word umbrella comes from the Latin term for shade, which tells us the earliest umbrellas were not meant for rain. The shift to rain protection came later when materials and designs improved. When umbrellas reached Europe, they remained luxury items for a long time. Only wealthy people owned folding parasols. In the 18th century, stronger frames and waterproof coverings helped umbrellas move from royal symbols to everyday tools. So each time you open an umbrella, remember its long journey. What started as a sign of royalty and power slowly changed into an object anyone can use. Number 2. High heels were invented for soldiers, not fashion. High heels feel like a fashion item today, but their story began on the battlefield. Around the 10th century, Persian soldiers who fought on horseback needed a way to stay steady while riding. They wore shoes with a raised heel that helped their feet lock into the stirrups. This grip made it easier to shoot a bow from a moving horse, which gave soldiers better aim and balance. When Persian culture met European leaders, the idea of heeled shoes caught attention. European nobles liked the style because it made them look taller and more important. By the 17th century, high heels became a symbol of power in royal courts. King Louis XIV of France even made high heels part of the dress code. Men and women both wore them as a sign of wealth and rank. Heels were also practical in cities with muddy streets. A raised sole kept feet and clothes cleaner. Over time, the military reason for heels faded, and designers began changing the shape for fashion instead of function. So, the heels we know now began as a useful tool for soldiers. They helped warriors stay firm in the saddle and control their horses. From a simple riding aid, the heel became a powerful status symbol and eventually one of the world's most famous fashion designs. Number 3. The first alarm clocks could only ring. Once the idea of an alarm clock feels normal today, but the first personal alarm clock had a strange limit. In 1787, an American clockmaker named Levi Hutchins built a clock for himself that rang at exactly 4 in the morning. He worked early and needed a way to wake up on time. His clock did only one thing. It rang at that same hour every day, and he never made it adjustable. It was made for one person and one purpose. Earlier clocks in Europe could ring bells, but they were usually tower clocks for public use. Some medieval clocks used pegs on a dial to set a strike time, but they were not common household alarms. The first widely known adjustable alarm clock was created by a French inventor named Antoine Redier in 1847. This design allowed people to choose the time they wanted to wake up. That feature changed everything, and the alarm clock slowly spread from workshops to homes. Levi Hutchins never planned to start a trend. He simply built the tool he needed. Number 4. Forks were considered a sinful luxury. For a long time, forks were not welcome at European tables. Today, they feel normal. But in the past, people ate with their hands, spoons, and knives. When the first metal forks arrived in Italy from the Byzantine world, many church leaders did not like them at all. Some priests said that God had already given humans the perfect tools for eating, which were the 10 fingers. Using a man-made tool was seen as unnecessary and even disrespectful to nature. Because of this belief, forks were labeled as strange, prideful, or sinful. At first, only very wealthy people used forks. Royal families and noble courts might have one or two, and they were treated as fine treasures, not everyday tools. Many ordinary people looked at forks as a sign of soft living. In some places, using one made people think you were acting too fancy or trying to show off. Over time, things changed. Travelers saw forks in other countries and brought the idea back home. People slowly noticed that forks helped them eat food more cleanly and politely. By the 17th and 18th centuries, forks spread across Europe. They became common in France, Britain, and later in America. What was once called sinful became a symbol of good manners. Today, almost every table uses forks without a second thought. The fork shows how culture and religion can shape even the simplest tools, and how ideas that seem strange in one time can become normal in another. Number 5. The QWERTY keyboard was designed to slow typing. Many people have heard the story that the QWERTY keyboard was made to slow people down. The truth is not that simple. When Christopher Latham Scholes and his partners created one of the first successful typewriters in the 1870s, they faced a big mechanical problem. Early typewriters used metal bars that struck paper. If two nearby bars were hit too quickly one after another, they could clash and jam. This made typing frustrating and slow. To fix this, the inventors moved letters around to reduce the chance of two busy letters hitting the machine at the same time. They tested many patterns before settling on the layout we now call QWERTY. Some letter pairs were separated on purpose, not to slow people, but to protect the machine from jamming. Later on, businesses and manufacturers started using this layout in their most popular typewriters. Once many offices and schools taught QWERTY, people became used to it. Even after typewriter machines improved and did not jam as easily, the layout stayed because everyone already knew it. Years later, other layouts like Dvorak were introduced. These layouts promised faster typing, but very few people switched. Since QWERTY was already everywhere, it stayed the standard. So while the layout did change the way people typed, it was shaped more by mechanical limits and business success than by a plan to slow anyone down. Today, the QWERTY keyboard lives on because history made it the most familiar system. Number 6. Tea bags were an accident, not a clever plan. The invention of the tea bag was not a planned idea. It started by accident in the early 1900s. A New York tea merchant named Thomas Sullivan wanted to send small samples of his tea to customers. Instead of using tins or boxes, he packed the tea leaves in tiny silk pouches. His goal was simply to reduce shipping costs and make the samples easy to deliver. Customers who received the samples made a surprising mistake. Instead of opening the silk pouch and pouring the leaves into a pot, they dipped the entire pouch into hot water. They thought that was the correct way to use it. The pouch worked well and released flavor through the fabric. People liked the convenience and told Sullivan about it. He realized he had accidentally created a new method for brewing tea. Soon the idea spread. Manufacturers began creating tea bags from cheaper materials like gauze and later special paper. Machines were built to produce the bags quickly, and stores began selling them as an easy alternative to loose tea. Number 7. The Slinky started as a naval engineering mistake. The Slinky is one of the most famous toys in the world, but it actually began as an accident in a Navy lab. In 1943, an engineer named Richard T. James was working for the United States Navy. His job was to create special springs that could keep ship equipment steady during rough sea waves. One day, he knocked a tension spring off a shelf and watched something strange happen. Instead of falling and staying down, the spring flipped and stretched, and then stood upright again. It kept moving in a smooth walking motion that looked fun and playful. Richard believed this movement could become a toy. He went home and worked with his wife Betty to test different metals until they found a perfect spring that could walk down steps on its own. In 1945, they took their new toy to Gimbel's department store in Philadelphia and showed it to shoppers. People were amazed at how the spring seemed to walk by itself, and the entire first batch sold out within minutes. The Slinky started as a tool for ships, but curiosity and creativity turned it into a toy that millions of children grew up with. Its success shows how a simple mistake can lead to something that surprises the whole world. Number 8. Bicycles were once seen as dangerous for your health. Today, bicycles are linked with fitness and fun. But when they became popular in the late 1800s, many people were scared of them. Some doctors and writers claimed that bicycles were unsafe for women. They warned about a fake condition they called bicycle face. They said women would be left with a tense expression from the effort of riding. Others believed that cycling could harm a woman's health or make her less feminine. Because bicycles gave women more freedom, some groups felt threatened and spread fear to slow down the trend. Doctors also worried about speed and balance because early bicycles were harder to control. Some models had very large front wheels and were known for accidents. Riders often fell or injured themselves because roads were rough and safety gear did not exist. Over time, real science proved those fears wrong. Cycling was shown to be healthy for the heart, lungs, and legs. As bicycles became safer and easier to ride, the old warnings faded away. Instead of danger, people saw bicycles as a fresh way to travel and enjoy the outdoors. Number 9. Toothpaste used to be made from crushed bones and charcoal. Toothpaste has a long history, and the first versions looked nothing like the smooth tubes we use today. Thousands of years ago, people already knew they needed to clean their teeth, but they used rough and strange ingredients. Ancient Egyptians mixed ground ox hooves, burned eggshells, pumice, and myrrh into a paste. This mixture helped remove stains but was very strong on teeth. The Greeks and Romans later made their own tooth powders. They used crushed bones, oyster shells, and powdered charcoal. These ingredients helped scrub teeth clean, but they were rough and could damage enamel. People still used them because they made teeth feel polished. As time went on, toothpaste slowly changed. In the 1800s, companies started adding smoother powders and pleasant flavoring. In the 1900s, fluoride became common because it helped protect teeth from decay. Today, toothpaste is soft, gentle, and made with safe chemicals that clean without harming the mouth. Even though modern toothpaste is very different, the idea is the same. People across history wanted fresh breath and clean teeth. Early formulas show how far humans were willing to go before science gave us a safer choice. Number 10. The first sunglasses were worn to hide. Emotion, not sunlight. Sunglasses are common today, but their first purpose had nothing to do with bright light. Hundreds of years ago, in parts of China and Tibet, judges wore flat pieces of smoky quartz over their eyes. These dark stones did not protect against sunlight and did not help vision. Instead, they were used to hide emotion during trials. If a witness spoke, the judge's eyes stayed secret, which made the courtroom feel more fair and serious. These early glasses worked like masks. They kept the judge from showing surprise, anger, or sympathy. This helped prevent anyone from guessing what the judge was thinking. The goal was control, not fashion. Much later, in the 1800s and early 1900s, people began using tinted lenses for sunlight and comfort. As science improved, lenses became clearer and safer for the eyes. Soon, sunglasses turned into a mix of protection and style. So even though today we think of sunglasses as cool accessories or tools for blocking bright rays, their story began in a quiet courtroom where hiding feelings was the main goal. From umbrellas once reserved for kings to toothpaste made from crushed bones, the everyday world is far stranger than it looks. Every item around you has a story full of surprises, mistakes, and clever solutions. Which of these objects shocked you the most? Comment below and let us know. If you enjoyed uncovering these hidden histories, make sure to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss our next adventure.